maddened to see your innumerable reflections within each other, because reflections will be reflected in reflections. Everywhere there is lenses. Why we give this lens example? Because it is so transparent and it holds the reflections. It reflects within itself and it reflects in other lenses also. So these reflections will be so clumsy, so many in number, and everywhere you can see only the reflections of your body. You cannot imagine even. So also the case with the absolute truth. The absolute is absolutely pure, transparent. So naturally there will be reflections seen within itself. So those reflections, the subtle reflections are taken as the sattva, and little clumsy reflections are taken as rajas, and quite invisible or quite clumsy reflections, many in one, will be taken as tamas. In this way, the reflections will be of three categories, and that is known as the Trigunatmika Prakriti, the nature of three qualities. That's how we imagine our creation. We imagine, or the Creator imagines, it is all the same. Imaginations are imaginations. Imagination has got no condition, it is always unconditional. There is no condition of time, space, or any other facts. So these imaginations, it may take place all of a sudden, or it may seen one after the other. So as you think, so it appears. We cannot see everything at a time. That's how we discuss everything in a process, one after another. But from a all-round vision, everything can be seen at a time, simultaneously, everything together. So, because it is imagination, we cannot have any clarity over it. No clarity. It will be always confuse you like this, and always there will be questions. So Ramji went on questioning in between, and Vasistha replying. Now, Vasistha, Ramji, when asked about the body of Brahma, Vasistha explained. Then Ramji asked, what about that hatching of the egg? How it appears? So Brahmaji explains all these 14 layers of existence, realms of existence, they are seen in that egg itself, the egg of the creation. So when it hatched, it becomes two parts, and the upper part is taken as upper 7 layers of existence, and the lower part is taken as the lower part of existence, that is 14 layers of existence. Now, after explaining all these 14 layers or seeds, we can say realms of existence, Ramji asked, what is there above that egg? It was, the explanation was about the inside leg, egg. Egg, when it is hatched, it becomes two parts, and upper parts are the 7 regions of existence, lower is 7 others, lower parts. Then what is above the leg, egg? So that was the question. Now, as you imagine, it happens to be there. Whether you imagine as a thinker, as a philosopher, or anyway, or the creator imagines, or the imaginations are seen in the absolute truth, everything is imagination only. So we cannot have any clarity over all these. As you think, so it appears. So maybe just as in our relative world, your imaginary world is different from the other. Your relationship, your I and my will be different from others. Everybody's world is different from each other. As you think, as you relate yourself with your surroundings, that becomes your world, which is completely different from others. Your father is not my father. It is your relation. And your enemy may be my friend. Your plants, which are full of flowers, is so beautiful for you, but for the caterpillars, so beautiful storehouse of food. So, as the imaginary eyes differs from each other, or relationship differs from each other, so the world appears to you. Everything stands upon imaginations only. That is, we have discussed so many times, and generally there is a saying, as you think, so you become, so you are. As you think, so you are. And our personality is composed by our thoughts only. When the thoughts are nothing but a series of vibrations, or we can say waves, thought waves, and that is nothing but the imbalanced state of the balanced state. Balanced state is known as truth. Imbalanced state is known as reflection or imagination or creation. Think it, name it as you like. So, what happens? When one thought repeated again and again, it takes the form of speech. It expresses itself through our speech. And when the speech is repeated again and again, it takes the form of action. We act according to our thoughts. Of course, for a common man, it thinks something else, speaks something else, and does something else. They don't coincide with each other. But yet, thoughts are the root cause of the speech, and speech is root cause of the action. Somehow or knowingly or unknowingly, they have relations with each other. But we are not aware of these relationships, thoughts, speech and actions, because the mind is so fickle, so restless. We don't observe how we think, how we speak, what is the meaning of our speech, and how do we act. So it differs outwardly from each other. Inwardly, only when the thoughts are repeated, they take the form of speech. When speech is repeated again and again, it becomes the action, and action repeated again and again, it becomes our habit. Habit repeated again and again, it becomes our character, and our character is our personality, and that is how our fate is related with our thoughts. So as you think, so you are. If you think of becoming something or making your life in a particular way, leading your life in a particular way, you have to think, everybody thinks, and accordingly he leads his life. If you want to become an engineer, you shape and behave accordingly, in the result of which you become an engineer. And becoming an engineer, whatever it is it is not something different from you. Your personality is added with a quality which is accepted by you and certified by some others, and and accepted by your surroundings, whosoever is there. They know you as an engineer. But your body, your mind, your everything is according to that. But body is, gross body is nothing which we can say it is body is engineer. It is your mind which accepts the quality. You have become an engineer. Only thoughts, and that is solid. You think I am an engineer. Though you are an engineer, yet you are some other identity also. You may be a human being, you may be a male or female, you may be of some name, you may be in your family the child of someone, brother of someone or sister of someone, or some other relations with others. So your identity is not only engineer, but so many aspects you hold, and you imagine I am a teacher, I am an engineer, or I am the head of the family, or I am father of somebody, or sister of somebody. Many ways we think and we act accordingly. So just like our personality and our thinking process and our world, our outside us, similar the case with the creation. The Brahma is nothing but the first identity, which is nothing but an a reflection of the truth within itself. Just as we see our own reflections within the reflections in a lens, so many reflections we see within one lens. Similarly, or we can see so many reflections in one mirror also, if different lights are behind us, different reflections we can see in one place, in one mirror. Similarly, this thought, which is nothing but the reflection of the absolute transparent truth, is seen within itself, and that is taken as the willpower. Willpower is also the creative power and also is knowledge power. Both three of these, willpower, creative power and knowledge power, are three aspects of one thought. This is how the nature of the absolute, and it sees different identities within itself. Identities are nothing but reflections. So, just as it thinks I am one, let me be many, it becomes many within the moment it thinks, it sees the manyness within itself. So that becomes the creation. That is what is called creation. And because it is the absolute is almighty, anything is seen within it, it goes on repeatedly repeating itself and it takes a solid form. Just as we see in our worldly parallels, see, many times we have discussed it, our so-called gross outside world is nothing but the grossification of the subtlemost atoms. Whatever we see around us with a solid form, it is nothing but repeated again and again in the course of long time, and the subtlemost becomes gross. Gross means which can be perceived by our gross senses, five senses. So, how it is repeated? For example, you see, water we know. When we analyze the structural form of water, it is nothing but oxygen and hydrogen, which is so subtle, we don't see it in bare eyes. And when oxygen and hydrogen get together, they come together with different, some particular ratios, then it becomes the subtlemost structural form of water molecules, and when those molecules get together, it appears as say vapor or water, and water again seen in a different way as ice, snow, and the same snow when it is pressurized under something for a long time, it becomes charcoal also. And that charcoal, when in the course of time, when it is undergoes some particular changes, that same charcoal becomes the diamond. See the difference between the oxygen gas and diamond so solid. Same thing goes on in all the names and forms which are seen around us. Everything, subtlemost, gets repeated again and again. In the long course of time, it becomes solid. And our all those impressions which are collected since innumerable lives in the past, those impressions, those memories, when taken to be multiplied, that slowly that collects everything from the nature, from the five elements, and slowly it becomes a gross body. And in the same process, we see five seeds, five different layers of our solid body. In this way, everything is dependent or rooted on imaginations only. And those imaginations are nothing but vibratory process, imbalanced process, which are known as imaginations. And from other angle, it is only reflections only. So there is no reality in all these names and forms which are said to be the creation around us. So in this way, if we imagine that Brahmand, then what will be there above the egg? What will be there? See what Vasistha ji explains. श्री रामचंद्र जी ने कहा, हे ब्राह्मण, आवरण युक्त उन ब्रह्मांड खपरों के बाहर क्या है? उनके कौन कौन आवरण हैं, वे कितने हैं, तथा बिना आधार के वे सब वहाँ संस्थित कैसे हैं? कृपा कर मुझे ये कहिए. राम जी क्वेश्चन वाज, what is the condition above the egg? Was it one egg or many eggs? This is our question. Ramji forgot to ask this. Whether there is one Brahmand or many. Of course, he has explained. In every atom there is a big creation, and it is not only according to philosophy, but our modern scientists also say the same thing. Whatever is there in an atom is there in the whole cosmos. The structural form is same. The same atom has become the universe. That's how the Vedas say, Anuraniyan Mahato Mahiyan. The absolute is smaller than the smallest, if you think of the forms, and bigger than the biggest. So is there any limit to think? It is beyond imaginations. There is no limit for anything. So in this condition, what shall we think of that create creation egg? How it will be? And what will be there above it? There is no meaning of above or below. Just as, can you say anything about the sky? What is above the sky and what is below the sky? What will be your imagination? How can you imagine? There is a beautiful story. We have discussed it long before. There was somebody, he wanted to see the universe, and he did penance for a long time, and then Brahma came before him and asked, my dear, what for you are doing all these penance, what do you want? He says, I want to see this universe sitting above the sky. Please give this, allow me this boon. I want to see the universe from above the sky. Brahma said, it is impossible. No, I want this. Whether it is impossible or possible, I don't care. I want to see the universe from the above sky. Brahma said, okay, granted. So, how to go beyond the sky? Come on. Brahmaji gave the boon. Yes, you will see. What happened then? He started, you see, expanding his body. Why? How? When it is expanded, when it is, it covers up the sky, one day or other, it will cover the whole sky, and then he can see from the above sky. Is it possible? It went on. When it grew like that, for ages, his body became so big, he could not move even, and eating, drinking, all these, managing to caring his body was impossible. So he felt so sorry, what did I do? It went on expanding, limitlessly. So a time came, he was so sorry. I wasted my time and my penance in this way. I want to die now. Again he thought of the Creator Brahma intensely, and Brahma came before him. Yes, what do you want? You wanted a boon, I allowed you. Now what has happened to you? No, I want to die. I don't care for that boon. I want to die now. So Brahma said, okay. And when he died, what will happen to his body? what will happen to his body. It was so big, you cannot imagine. It was expanding. So it covered up all the visible objects in the sky. So when he died, his body started rotting, and slowly all those fleshes and bones, they started falling down. Where is the down? Will it fall? You can just imagine what will happen to him. And of course, the poet explains it in a flowery language. Slowly, the body melted and rotted, and then it started falling in the sky, and the pisach, those who are fond of meat and blood, pisachini, all those, they were making merry, they were dancing and eating away all this rotten flesh. And there was a big commotion in the sky. It went on for some time. So there is no end to our limit to our imaginations. Any way one can imagine. Another person was there, great ascetic. He did penance for a pretty long time, and then Brahma came forward him. Not Brahma, he was the worshipper of fire god. Fire god. So fire god appeared before him. Yes, my dear, what do you want? I want to see the creation, whole creation. I want to see the end of this creation. The God said, it is impossible. How can you? It is endless. How can you have some end of it? So he said, no, I want to see it. So the fire god said, okay, if you want, go on. Of course, he had all those powers. He splitted into 4 parts, then and there. His name was Vipaschit. He became 4, and all were of same DNA. Equally they think, equally they feel, and everything same. One only became 4, and they had the power to go, proceed wherever they like, in air, in water, in fire, anywhere they can enter and go on. And they will have the memory of the past. All these qualities he got. So, all these 4, they started going ahead to see the creation in 4 directions. For ages they went on, there is no end to it. Somewhere one out of them, one entered into some space where it is known as the ground of siddhas and knowledge. So when he reached that area, because of the influence, he left the idea of seeing the end of creation. He sat there and went on meditating and entered into samadhi and left his body, and he merged in the Absolute. The other went on for ages, for how long nobody knows, and he also is going on, and there is no end to it. Of course, by the way, he goes on changing its body also, because body will not remain for long. It has time. So goes on taking birth again and again, dying again and again, and he will have all the memories of the past lives. So he will proceed again in the same way. In that way he is going on. There is no end. Vasistha ji was telling Ramji. So Vasistha ji, Ramji said, Guruji, I want to see him. So Vasistha said, okay, I shall show you. He is now present in your royal garden in the form of a deer. He has taken the form of a deer, and after several lives he has come here and he is in your royal garden. I want to see it and I want to talk to it. So Vasistha ji called him by his yogic power, and the deer comes to the assembly where Vasistha, Vishwamitra and others were sitting, and Ramji was sitting and hearing from Vasistha ji all the princes and all other kings and our gods and all those saints and sages were present in that assembly to hear from Vasistha all these knowledge from Vasistha. So before all of them, that deer appeared and it was running here and there. So Vasistha ji made him calm, and what happened? He meditated on fire god, who Vasistha ji, to ask fire god, please give him a body of human being, and we want to talk to him for some time, and then again he can become the deer again. Please. So fire god asked him, okay. And then all of a sudden that deer entered into fire and disappeared in the fire, and from the fire came out a beautiful person in the form of a king. And Vasistha, Dasarath, everybody was wonderstruck. They gave the Singhasan to him, and they started asking. Ramji asked, how do you feel of all your stories? Please explain to us. How do you feel? What happened to you? He went on telling everything in nutshell, and Ramji asked Vasistha ji, I pray you, my great saint, please give mukti to him, liberation to him. Let him not go on in this path endlessly. So Vasistha ji again prayed fire god, and fire god granted this boon. The king again entered to that fire and disappeared. Of course, the story is most interesting and a long story. I mean to say there is no end to these imaginary creations. You cannot see anything from the above sky, and you cannot see the end of the sky. You cannot see the end of creation. It is imagination only. How can you have an end of it? It is beginningless and endless. It is unconditional. As you think, so you see it. When you withdraw your thoughts, there is no world. Where does all these names and forms, where do they disappear in your deep sleep? And how do you see it again in the morning? Where from do they come? All these your solid imaginations. You have been thinking of all these names and forms since time immemorial. So you see all these in this way. Because you are not habituated to think of subtler beings, so you don't see it. And there are subtler beings which we name as gods or Gandharvas, Kinnaras, different kinds of subtler beings, Siddhas. So the whole cosmos is full of identities of different kinds, different types. That is what Vasistha explained to Rama in the beginning when he was narrating. I are in the path of my path to that golden rock, I saw innumerable worlds. So Ramji was very curious, what sort of creations you saw, different worlds, how were they? So Vasistha was explaining most wonderfully. There are different kinds of creations which some are somewhat equal to others, somewhat not equal to others. Somewhere I saw only one element makes the whole creation, and somewhere two, somewhere three. Rarely I saw 5 elements get composed and created all these just as our creation. So in that way, many kinds of creations are there, and they are not really anywhere existing. As you think, so you see. Vasistha ji, having a strong mind and very subtle mind, he was able to see subtler realms, so he could see all these Brahmanas at a time and was telling to Ram. So in this way, our main point is, as you think, so you see the world around you. This is the central point. It depends upon your imaginations. That becomes your world. Similarly, when our Brahma, our Creator, goes on thinking endlessly, that becomes our Brahman, our creation, and we are within it, and we have also different kinds of imaginary worlds within us. There are innumerable worlds in one atom. So can you imagine how will be all these? So now coming to our point, what will be there above the egg or below the egg? It is just an imaginary egg. So if I say, I have a beautiful building in the sky, and that building has got a beautiful garden around it, and there is a beautiful lake, and lake is full of different kinds of birds and flowers, and everywhere there are so many people and whatever you can imagine. So all these I see in the sky. I have made it. Then ask me some questions on it. Go on asking, Swamiji, is there the water of that lake is sweet or salty? You can ask me. And where are those birds? Where from they come and where do they go in winter days? Huh? We see some birds coming from North Pole in the winter season, and they go back to their original place afterwards. When summer starts, they go back. Similarly, you can ask, where from those birds you have collected, and what is below that lake? Is there land, or below that lake also water is there? Any type of question you can put which is baseless, because there is no such real building in the air. It is imaginary. So whatever you think, that is possible there. And whatever you don't think, that is also possible there. What you cannot think is there. Anyway, so now on this, Vasistha is going to answer. Ramji asked, how are the upper region of that egg and how it is covered up, and what are the layers of its covering, and how many layers are there? How is that? How is it seen? So Vasistha says, महाराज वशिष्ठ जी ने कहा है श्री रामचंद्र जी, जो उन ब्रह्मांड खंडों के पार में उनसे 10 गुना अधिक विस्तृत जल है. So go on imagining. Vasistha says, there is 10 times more expanded water around that egg. Around that egg. Around 10 times more spacious than the egg, the water is surrounding the egg. And then और वह बल इन दोनों खंड के अति विस्तृत अंधकार संध्याकाश को छोड़कर उसके बाहर ही खूब विस्तृत रूप से स्थित है। संध्याकाश उन ब्रह्मांड खंडों के पार में उनसे 10 गुण अधिक विस्तृत जल है और वह बल इन दोनों खंडों के अति विस्तृत संध्याकाश को छोड़कर उसके बाहर ही खूब विस्तृत रूप से स्थित है। हाउ डू यू अंडरस्टैंड इट? The egg has become 2 parts, so there will be a sandhya, a gap between the two parts. That is what Vasistha was narrating beforehand. 4 parts. The egg becomes 2 parts, and the upper part will be also have lower part and upper part, and the lower part also will have the upper and lower parts, and in between two there will be some gap, that is called sandhya. Sandhya means the gap. So, leaving that gap, all around there are 10 times more spacious, more covering of water around that egg. और उसके अनंतर जल के समान ही उस जल को पवित्र करने वाला तथा स्वयं निर्मल पवन स्थित है. Around that water there is still 10 times more spacious, more voluminous of water. There is air, pure air. So, around that air, what will be there? उसके बाद उस पवन के समान ही 10 गुण विमल आकाश स्थित है. Around that air, there will be sky, elementary sky, 10 times more spacious than the air level. So, the Brahmanda, our Brahmanda is in the center. Around it goes on expanding 10 times more than the egg. There is water, and around the water there is another layer of water with fire. When the water is there, fire will be there in it, isn't it? Where from you get this light? From water only. So there is fire inside the water. How do you understand it from scientific analysis? Oxygen and hydrogen, they are the atoms of fire also. Oxygen is fire only, and hydrogen also. So they appear, they get together, they are composed in a different ratio to have the fire form, and in different ratio to have the water form. So same thing, same atoms constitute the whole world with all these names and forms, different names and forms. And absolutely there is only one atom. What is that? Chid Anu, the atom of the consciousness. And then comes atom of the imagination. And then starts all these different imaginations, and they go on repeating again and again. In the course of time, they get solidified. And that is what we know as our creation. So he says, above the water level, there is another water level 10 times more spacious than this water, which is full of fire. And then above that, 10 times more than that level, there is air. And around the air, there is 10 times more spacious sky is there. So, now we will start the questioning. What is after the sky? What will be beyond sky? Yes, come on. Don't you dare to ask such questions. No, no, you can ask. I have answer for it. Huh? We'll go on with it. उसके बाद उस पवन के समान ही 10 गुण विमल आकाश स्थित है। प्रथम प्रश्न का उत्तर देते हैं वह है श्री रामचंद्र जी। तदनंतर परम पवित्र अति सूक्ष्म होने के कारण अत्यंत ही स्वच्छ अनंत माया सबल ब्रह्मा का स्थित है। Beyond that sky, there is the sky of consciousness with qualitative consciousness. What is qualitative consciousness? Sabal Brahma. Sabal means the absolute consciousness which is spotless, which is absolutely transparent. Sometimes when somehow or other, just as we see the water in the mirage, similarly, as we see the blueness of the sky, which is not there, we see sometimes 2 moons, which is not there. And a person who has disease called क्या पीलिया jaundice. A jaundice person sees everywhere only yellow. All around is yellow persons, yellow trees and yellow water. The sky also is yellow. How? Because of faulty vision, he sees the different color than the ordinary people. Similarly, when the absolute will have some idea, it will be called Sabal Brahma. That means the absolute with some qualities, qualitative sky. So, above the layer of sky, there will be another sky which is known as qualitative sky. Then above that, then pure sky, pure conscious sky. You know, we have some knife to cut the sky into slices. Just as you make slices of your bread, isn't it? Similarly, we can make slice of the sky. How do you do it? Huh? Slice, and we make some sandwich. Sandwich of sky. Can you? No? See this sky, what we know. Though we claim we know the sky, we know nothing about the sky. Yet we claim we see something and know it as the sky. Space, has it got any definition? Can you define it? Has it any beginning and end? Nothing. Yet we know it to be there, isn't it? This is called the elementary sky. Out of 5 elements which constitute this world with names and forms, the sky is the first element. And then air, fire, water and earth, all these they get together in different ratios, and all these names and forms are composed. Composition is 5 with 5, innumerable compositions. So this is called our world with 5 elements. And the first element is sky, the space. Beyond this, which we know as the sky, though we don't know anything about it. Somehow we claim there is a sky and we know it, we see it. Look at the sky. Is it there above only, not below, not around you? We have some ideas. So, this is called our elementary sky. And how do you know this sky? How do you know? Because you have some thought of the sky, isn't it? You think there is something as sky. So that is called idea of the sky. That is the holder of this elementary sky. That is subtler than this elementary sky, which holds the sky. Your idea of the sky. Got it? Idea sky. Idea sky is the supporter or the base of holder of this elementary sky. You think something about the sky. That idea itself holds the sky, which is endless, beginningless, which has got no definition. And that idea, where is it? Who holds that idea? Whose idea? My idea. My means I am something conscious. I am awareness. I know I am. That is known as the consciousness. I am aware of my existence. I am aware of my knowledge of my existence. I know that I exist, and I am quite satisfied with it, contented with my idea of my existence. That is how we say Sat, Chit, Anand. Sat means existence, Chit means awareness of your existence, and your contentment, you are quite contented with your knowledge of your existence. You know that I do exist. I cannot be unknown to me. I am known to me. So this is how Sat Chit Anand, and this is called, which is all-pervading, almighty, ever-present existence. This is called Chidanand, the awareness sky, which is endless, beginningless, and definitionless. There is no definition for it. So, that awareness is aware of that idea of the sky. So, the idea sky is held by the awareness sky. That is called Chidakas. That is named as Chidakas. Chidakas projects out the idea of the sky, that is ideal sky. And that idea holds this elementary sky. So this is called elementary sky. 3 slices of one sky. Okay, what are you going to put inside? To make it a sandwich, beautiful, tasty sandwich.
Swamiji, awareness and consciousness can difference.
Words are different. You can mean same thing. You may differ in the meaning also, as you like.
Consciousness, it is consciousness sometimes, or we say awareness sometimes.
You see, you have to always be aware of your words and word meanings. Whatever words we utter, audible words, it has meaning and it is also meaningless. From one angle it will have some meaning, from the opposite angle it will be meaningless. Words are nothing but it is only some vibrations, and those vibrations in the brain which are in a continuous flow, that we know as our thoughts. So that becomes the speech afterwards. So your speech may have many meanings in different ways. Whatever you say, any word will be meaningless and meaningful also. It will have so many meanings because it is only sound. Sound you can form in any way you like, and it will have some relationship with the objects, then it will have some meaning. The sound when has some relationship with the form, then only it is meaningful. And the use of the, means your daily transactions with the form, is the meaning or value of the object as per your words. Say, I say glass, magnifying glass. Magnifying glass, if you don't know anything about it, what will have any meaning? What is the meaning of magnifying glass? What is the meaning of glass? Come on to glass. Glass is something which has a form, and when this word glass is related with the form, then only you know that is called glass. Understood? This is called glass. Okay? It has a form and it will be identified with some sound, and that will be the meaning of this object, and that will be value of the object also. As you have relationship with it, contact with it, so it will have the cost of it, value of it. So your words have got so many different meaning in different directions.
Also, Swamiji, one form can be referred by many different words in different languages.
Anything, anywhere, any meaning you can have. That is the magic of the words. That is how the poets and the writers, they use the words. They mean something by some words. And once I said this is called glass, and you accepted it, and many behind you accept it, then only it becomes glass. Or else it has got no name, no identity. When you relate your sound in some form with it, then it becomes the meaning, and then it has some value. Then you can have your relations with it, that is daily transaction you can have. This is, we live in this relative world.
But Swamiji,
Words
sometimes
only.
we say like sounds create forms. Forms are created by sounds.
Yes, both, vice versa is true. Huh? See, there is plain water in this water surface, it is absolutely balanced state. Now, somehow or other, we see some waves, or we can say some minute waves over the water due to something, say due to wind or something drop in water, so waves are created, isn't it? Those waves, they will be in all directions. Akhanda mandala akaram. In 360 to the power 360 to the power 360 to the power infinity. In those directions it will go on expanding. It has got no end. So, when one wave gets class against the other wave, there will be a third diagonal force. Other wave will be created. In this way, one wave goes on multiplying into different numbers of waves, and they will again mingle up with each other and clash against each other. In this way, it will go on multiplying in all directions. So, the same waves have created the bubbles, the same waves have created the tides and what not, huh? Tsunami and whirlpools, the same water waves have been seen in a form of flow, river or streams or something. Any name you can give in any form, that is water only. The same water will have so many forms, so many names, different from each other. So, your form is made up of the same, just as the bubbles are made up of the same waves when they clash against each other. Similarly, when the first vibration starts in the absolute balance state, that is called sound. And that sound is nothing but vibration. That is known as energy also. Vibration, when goes on, changing in different ways, different levels, the energy takes different names. Same is known as magnet, same wave is known as electricity, same wave is known as sound, same sound is known as many different forms of same energy. Energy is nothing but vibratory system, unbalanced system, and that happens only on the balanced state. So you can imagine whatever names and forms are there, they are the outcome of only these waves which we know as sound or thought or imagination or whatever name you can give. This way we have to understand all these names and forms, whatever is visible to us and whatever is not visible to us, whatever comes under our imagination and whatever is beyond our imagination, everything is only this process. Call it sound or call it forms, call it time, call it space, name it as you like, call it mind or intellect, it is all the same. So one word will be having several meanings. When you go enter into the depth of the meaning, you enjoy how these words are created and how it overpowers the whole creation. It is network of words only which is known as our lives. Network of words only or sound that is seen in these different innumerable names and forms, actions and reactions, cause and effect, and trials, the doer, doing, and done object, all these which we have seen in the process of nature, everything is based on only one formula, that is imbalanced state, and that is wave seen in the absolute balanced state, which is known as the absolute truth. And everything within it, there is no in or out in it. In and out is known, understood when we have some demarcating line. If this is something, then it will have in and out, or else there is no meaning of in or out. We are sitting outside and inside also. How? How do you know? How do you mean it? We are sitting outside that room. It is hall. Okay. And inside the building, the same outside is known as inside. As you like, as you mean it. Because of this wall, we are outside that inside room. And because of this wall, we are inside the room, hall, not outside. So all these words will have relative meaning in this way. And if you understand the meaning of words, then you cannot utter any word because it is so meaningless. You will be bound to keep quiet. Meaningless words we utter every moment. So now you can put the question. Yes, you are welcome to put the question. So, Swamiji, what are you saying? Your words are also meaningless, isn't it? Isn't it? Yes, it is meaningless. Not only my words, your hearing also is meaningless. And your identity, which has some relation with my identity, that is also meaningless. Everything is meaningless. Artham anartham chinta bhavaya nityam. Go on analyzing the meaning of or the no meaning of the value of or valuelessness of every word, then the world will dwindle into nothing. There is no meaning of any form or any name. Say, this is called vowel. Is it vowel? Somebody said and somebody accepted it, then it becomes the vowel, or else vowel has got no meaning. It is just some vibratory system in the air. Okay. Somebody said and some others accepted it, that becomes the language. And that is used in the particular place, in a particular way. It is not always same. Understood? Now time is over. What do you understand about time? There is no time. It is a relative term. Whatever we see, whatever we know, everything is relatively understood. So, Vasistha says there is 10 times more spacious, more expanded water above this world, and 10 times more spacious than that water layer. There is another water layer where is fire is there, and beyond that there is 10 times more spacious than that is air, and beyond that 10 times more spacious than that air level there is a sky. Okay? Just according to our 5 elements, as we think, the earth is in the center. And around the earth, we know what is there? 2.5 times more than earth is water. And again 2.5 times more than water is fire. Fire is all pervading. And around that, more than that 2.5 times, there will be air, and above that there will be air, sky. In this way, we know our gross creation. Similarly, is there with the egg of creation. Same thing will be. And beyond that, what will be there? Beyond that sky. Beyond that elementary sky, there will be ideal sky, 10 times more than that. And beyond that, there will be absolute conscious sky, and that is all pervading. And if you want to create something, you can create in the same manner. Beyond that sky, another sky starts from there, the other world. And where the sky first, then there will be air, then there will be fire, water, and then there will be solidity. And above that again same thing. So innumerable worlds, creations are there, you cannot think of it. So there is no end to it. Somebody asked, how all this exist without any support? So the Sardar says, are what to speak of support? Now see this balance, egg above egg, another egg above another, above another there is egg. See the balance, how do they exist? One becomes the support for the other. See the magic.
स्वामी जी तो ऐसे सोलर सिस्टम में भी ग्रेविटी में एक प्लेनेट दूसरे को
Exactly, that is, that same word gravity also means relationship, also means influence, or our relations, our transactions, our influence with each other, our everything. We call it gravitational force to use in some language, but from analytical point of view, it has got all the meaning. When you have influence over me, say we go to water, we go to Ganga bank, how do you feel? You feel the presence of cold water there. And that is called its influence, its attraction, its repulsion, its nature, its, we can say, attraction, everything. And that's how you have relations with that cold water. You feel cool. And same thing you feel with fire. When you go near fire, you have your influence. Both influence or understanding or relations, they will be vice versa from both sides. See, if one is there, there is no relationship, there is nothing. We take this example again and again. See, when the second comes, then all sorts of relationship starts. It is small because it is big. And how far from each other, how do they relate with each other both way? That becomes a relativity. Then starts all the rules of relativity. And when this has some attraction for this, attraction is nothing but comparison and relation. So if this has some relation with it, qualitatively, this also will have same thing in opposite way. So this is how the whole creation is made up of pairs of opposites. All the opposites are seen here. And unless you compare both, you have no meaning, no relation, nothing. Both way you have to compare, and then only you know what it is. Every coin will have head and tail both. And if head is there, you cannot have only head. You have to have the tail behind it. Then only the coin is understood. Similarly, all these names and forms, the opposite has the relation with the positive. So tomorrow we shall see further how all these creations, they keep off balance Okay? That balance is nothing but our relation, our transaction, our vision, everything. Hari Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevamasisyate Om Shanti 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 Sadguru Bhagavan ki jai सच्चिदानंद भगवान की जय शब्द ब्रह्म की जय सरस्वती महारानी की जय जोग वशिष्ठ जी भगवान की जय हरि ओम।